Hello, hello. What's up? Who's there? Anyone there? Anyone there? Hola, Emily. Hola, Margarita. What's up, girls? How are you? So I'm just making time, waiting for more people to join. We're going to be talking about inflammation. I'm a little bit obsessed with this subject lately. I'm doing a nutrition certification and I'm learning stuff. And, I used to think inflammation was when I was bloated. I was inflamed. Oh. But no, it's so much more than that. So I'm actually going to have my beautiful friend Vanessa, who is a food chemist. Hola. And I'm going to ask her some questions. So if you have questions for her or for me, feel free to type them in the comment area and I'll make sure to address those. But in the meantime, tell me what is up. Do you know what inflammation is? Seriously. I mean, do you know? Do you think you know? Do you know there are types of inflammation? Do you know that inflammation, it's not always bad? Do you actually know what inflammation is? How about we type in the comments below whether we know or not? A little, says Emily. One more question. Have you ever seen me with glasses? This is my nerdy me. Yes, so okay, Vanessa is there, but you need to ask to be there. We go. Okay, let's get the party started. La 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 la. Margarita says yes.
Hello.
Hola, Vane, what's up?
Bien, ya, déjame conectar los audífonos porque ahora no te escucho bien.
No problemo, amiga. So Vanessa was like in my Zumba class 2 hours ago, and now she looks so pretty. She took a shower.
Yeah, actually my hair is like because I
No,
just took a shower.
you look so pretty, so
Hi,
pretty.
thank you.
So I was just telling the
Hola,
girls,
Margarita.
that we were going to talk about inflammation, and I was asking them if they knew what inflammation was, and they said like yes, no, maybe a little bit. So, but before we get into that subject, because when we go to your Instagram, Vanessa, we read that it says food chemist or functional nutrition or something. Could you tell us a little bit more about what that is and what made you go into that field?
Well, of course, a food chemist is a chemist actually, but is a chemist that specializes in food. So you know a little bit about nutrition, you know about how food is processed, how the correlations in the nutrients in the food, for example, the chemistry of the food, so you can know which food have antioxidants, omega-3, and with that information, you can do, for example, research to clinical research, for example, to correlate disease with food and how some foods can avoid disease or help to avoid disease and things like that. So you can work in different things. You can work in food quality, for example, just doing analyzing the characteristics of the food, or you can work in clinical research, or you can work on research in food industry, how is my case. This is
Nice.
the case of food chemist.
Okay.
However, for the functional nutrition, wow. The thing is, like, I have always been interested in health. I always want to know how the body works and things like that. So when I studied chemistry, I actually had this utopic idea that I would like to contribute in research or clinical research about cancer or to cure any disease. And actually, I worked for a year in a project related with cancer where you correlate antioxidants with cancer. I was working with selenium specifically. The project extended and they offered me a PhD, but for different reasons I couldn't do it. So I forgot about that for a while until my father got sick. So my father got sick of chikungunya, which is a disease that you get infected by a mosquito. So it's a virus, kind of similar to COVID, keeping the distance, but it's kind of similar because at the time when my father got it, nobody knew what to do about that because it was unknown, so they didn't know what the symptoms were. Anyway, in the case of my father, he started to have fever, headache, simple symptoms after he started to have allergies to food that he have eaten for, I don't know, for years. He started to have pain for months and months and months. So at the end, well, the allergies were treated. At the beginning was just drugs, but in a moment he was taking drugs for allergies for 6 months. So they were just treating the symptoms, not the allergy. Finally, he got a doctor that was specialized in allergies and immune system, and he got treated. But I thought at the time, okay, everything is done, it's okay. He told me, no, I have pain. I have a lot of pain. He said that he used to wake up because he had a lot of pain in the body. So I started to read a lot about nutrition, about immune system, and about inflammation because I realized that my father was getting arthritis as an autoimmune disease.
Oh, wow.
So the thing is that inflammation was attacking the musculoskeletal system, so it was destroying his joints, and that was the cause of the pain. My father was a really active man. From one day to another, he became like 10 years older. So that was really sad. But any doctor helped him in the way that of course, they give him drugs and things, the pharmaceutical drugs for the symptoms. My father was taking ibuprofen for 2 years, things like that, which is really bad for your liver. So at the end, I found a really good book about inflammation. And when I was reading the book to help my father, I realized that I was inflamed, that I was sick too, but I didn't know. I thought that having a headache each 2 days was normal. So was good because when I was reading the book, they have a checklist. They have, I don't know, let's say 8 symptoms, and I had 7 of them.
Oh my God.
So I was like, okay, I have problems also. So I did a food intervention about inflammation, and it was incredible how my life changed because I had a lot of symptoms that in a moment I thought that were normal, and they're not. So for that, I started to read about functional nutrition. I was interested in that at the point that I trying to get my certification of that, because I think that the change that you can do with habits and with food are amazing. I live it by myself, and with that I live, I could help better to my father because now I know where the change and all that. And I would like to help more people with that because I don't want that anybody has to arrive to the point where my father is. And I don't think that it's normal to live with a headache, with hormonal imbalance, I don't know, many symptoms that people think that are normal.
They're normal. But wait, because I think, correct me if I'm wrong, right? But when you, let's say, when you get cut and you have that reaction of your, the blood and the thing, that your finger getting like bloated, that's also inflammation, right?
Yeah.
So inflammation is not always bad, but this is temporary, but the one you were talking about is like chronic inflammation, right?
That's right. The inflammation is actually a natural response of the body. Is an alert response. It's like an alarm. Like, be careful. There is something that is happening. We have to figure out what it is, and we're going to solve it.
It's
So it
like
has to be for a
it's
while.
like you're calling 911, like, okay, dudes, okay, something's happening.
Yeah, or
Let's
let's say it's like when there is an accident in the street and they put cones like to close the street for a while because they will need to figure out what is the accident, if it's going to cause some damage to other people. But imagine that you close, I don't know, two lines in the highway, and the day after they are still closed, or after, I don't know, 1 month they are still closed. So the traffic
exactly.
is going to be horrible, other streets going to be damaged, and things like that. So that is the point where the inflammation becomes chronic. And
Chronic,
the thing
exactly.
is that when your body feel that is in a state where you have to be defensive, every time it's like they are always prepared to
Yeah,
attack.
yeah.
And that can happen because you eat something that is not good for you, or because you smoke, you drink too much alcohol, you have a lot of stress. So the body feels that it is under attack every day.
And how bad can it get? I mean, because
Well,
we started with, okay, let's talk about the first stage of inflammation, like the acute inflammation when you cut your finger. Okay, you get red, and but the thing heals, right? But then we are into the chronic inflammation where it's happening internally and you don't see it. So how bad does it get? Like how, like a headache or whenever you have gas after eating, those are already symptoms of inflammation. So you could be having
yes.
this for your lifetime and you don't know it.
Yeah, I had it. I had it like for 15 years. I thought that was normal. It was okay. Is that is normal? I'm just stressed. I don't know what. Or I'm just I born bad. I don't know. But yeah, I really I used to buy Tylenol and things like that each month.
Oh
Each
wow.
month because for me it was normal to take one like a three per week. So yeah, but you don't realize. The thing is, once you don't realize that actually when you really feel a strong symptom of inflammation, maybe you have your body has been inflamed for 5 years, maybe 6 years, and you don't even know. And the thing is, like we don't know how to listen our body.
Mm-hmm.
That is the first issue. So we have a headache, we take a pill, and it's done. We don't try to think what generates that headache or that stomach ache. So just to give you an example, how chronic can be inflammation. You know what is atherosclerosis, the disease for the arteries when they got clogged?
Mm-hmm.
So the plaque actually is an inflammatory response, an acute anti-inflammatory response. So when the body feels that the artery is getting damaged, they put the plaque, it's like a cast, for the
Yeah, yeah.
for
When
when
you
you
get
broke
your your
yeah,
bone broker. Yeah.
exactly. So you have like a cast like that. The artery is don't move too much. It can recuperate, and after that the plaque should go. The thing is that let's say that you are a smoker or you eat too much fries and things like that, your body feels that they need more they need more cast because another thing is broken and they need more plaque. And when you get an accumulation of that, it's difficult to pump the blood and you have a heart attack. Or
There
you
we
can
go.
have a stroke because you have a clot in your arteries. So this is the way how bad can get the chronic inflammation.
And I also think, correct me if I'm wrong, that inflammation can also diminish your immune system, right? Because your immune system is always like in defense mode, so it's weakened. So you can get
Yeah.
sick faster. You can get colds faster. Even the viruses like the COVID or the chikungunya, like your daddy. So there are lots of consequences that come with inflammation, with chronic inflammation. And what I think we should do as well, me as a fitness professional and you as a nutritionist, or well, a functional nutritionist professional, is make people aware that First of all, we might be all suffering from chronic inflammation, but we don't know it. So, as you said before, we need to listen to our bodies and we need to be
Yeah.
a little bit more tuned with how we're feeling, what we're feeling, and why we're feeling it. And then, what can we do? We need to do the research and do our homework and figure out what can we do in our daily lives to prevent inflammation. So, for example, because you are in nutrition, let's reverse engineer, right? Let's talk first about the foods that are, uh,
Inflammatory?
yes, that's the word. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. So the thing, well, sugar is one. That was my favorite one before. Sugar is a very, very, very inflammatory disease. There are a lot of research that have shown that even sugar is related with the risk of having Alzheimer, dementia, because many processes that happens in the body. So sugar is one.
But wait, when you say
Uh,
sugar, are you talking about any kind of sugar or
no,
refined
it's like
sugar?
a high refined sugar, but high quantity of sugar. The thing is,
Okay.
like a fruit never had the same quantity that you can add to a Coke, for example.
Okay.
So there are levels that you can manage.
Okay.
Even you can eat a dessert once in a while if you like desserts. But the issue is when you eat dessert for breakfast, for because cereal for me is like a dessert for breakfast
Yeah, yeah.
and things like that.
Okay.
So sugar is one of them. Gluten is another one. It's for that is very popular lately. However, many people is not sensible to gluten, so
Mm-hmm.
maybe it's not. The thing is bio individuality because
Mm-hmm.
we all are have a different chemistry in our body. But sugar is one that is bad for everyone. Gluten is inflammatory, for that we shouldn't have a lot of gluten in our diet. Just try to moderate that. And for other people, can be even grains in general, like rice, corn, oats, uh, wheat, rye, etc. What else? Oils, but some oils, like a palm oil, canola oil, are very, very inflammatory.
Okay.
Actually, in my case, I don't, I cannot tolerate the things that are done with the palm oil. I feel my gut immediately.
So if I say that,
Dairies, dairies is another
oh,
one.
dairy. Margarita asked, what is gluten exactly, and why is it everywhere in the food ingredients?
Well, gluten is a protein. There is a lot of ambiguity with gluten, but gluten mainly is a protein that you can find in some grains as wheat, as rye, and as barley. However, there are some research that show that rice and corn can have gluten, but it's another kind of gluten. So it's the type of damage is different. So it's for that you can see a corn product labeled as free gluten. So no, it's not rare to find food without gluten because, for example, corn is without gluten. It's supposed to be without gluten. I don't know,
Oats,
meat, fish,
beans,
uh,
fruits.
beans, exactly, vegetables, fruits. There are a lot of food that doesn't have
Margarita,
gluten.
¿qué comes, Margarita? ¿Qué pasa, Margarita?
So, for example, what has gluten? Bread, of course, cookies, a lot of cakes. At least that you prepare the cake with almond
Flour.
flour or with, I don't know, oats, etc.
Yes.
And what else?
So
The
this,
thing is that the industry sometimes have, let's say, I have a recipient where I make cookies, where I prepare cookies, but the same industry prepare there something that doesn't supposed to have gluten, but you can have trace of that. So it's for that that is labeled in case or someone is celiac, because that people really don't tolerate any
Okay.
gluten.
So coming back to the inflammation, I could say that like processed foods are generally like inflammatory foods. Everything that's super processed, like, you know, the everything that comes in a package, in a plastic bag.
Well, I'm going to be
Not every.
careful with that generalization,
Okay.
but because not everything. The thing is, unfortunately, the industry found that palm oil, for example, and canola oil are very cheap.
Mm-hmm.
So something that's supposed to be healthy as a hummus and supposed to be prepared with tahini and olive oil is prepared with palm oil because it's cheaper. So it's for that you have to read the label. But yeah, a lot of food, processed food or packaged food have inflammatory ingredients. It's for that
So
we should moderate
exactly.
that or read the
So
label.
exactly. So like to simplify for our viewers, one thing we could do is go with vegetables and fruits as much as we can. Things that are not the things that doesn't have 1,000 things in the ingredient list. But then again, whenever you're gonna have that treat or you're gonna buy that food that's in a package or a box, just take the time to read your label, right? And of course, every once in a while you can have that cookie with that sugar. It's not the end of the world. But the thing is, we are used to having those like
Yeah,
every day,
that is
twice
the
or twice a week. It's too much. It's too much. So maybe what we could do, for example, for Margarita, who was worried about her cookies, it's find recipes that are gluten free and don't have as much sugar in them, for example. But that's for another day, right? So these are the inflammatory foods that we just talked about. Is there anything else? We mentioned gluten, grains, oils, sugars, processed foods.
well, that are the most inflammatory food, but
Mm-hmm.
actually there are many foods that can be inflammatory. For example, eggs can be inflammatory.
Oh no. Okay.
And things that we think that are healthy, as what is the name of it? Eggplant, tomatoes, potatoes. Yeah. For example, in case, as in my father case, people with arthritis are very sensible to what is called the nightshade group, and that includes goji berry,
Uh-huh.
eggplants, potatoes, peppers, um, I'd say eggplants.
Oh my God.
That's supposed to be healthy,
Yeah.
but
But that
for a group of people
depends
can be
on
very bad.
so
Yeah,
it's
it's for
case
that
by
that I
case.
always talk about listening your body, bio individuality, and that you have to taste, you have to test what is
Yes.
good for you and what is bad for you.
And we also said dairy products, right?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Is there a genetic factor? Do we know?
I don't think so, to be honest. Actually, the thing with genetic is like you can have a genetic factor predisposition to something, but the way how you eat and the way how you behave can change the expression of that gene. So I can say that that can be relative, but also the thing is that about inflammation, I think is more about your food or the way how you eat and your lifestyle, which
Okay,
means
perfect.
exercise, sleep, and things like that.
We're gonna get into that in a few seconds, but because I know that there is ways to know whenever you're suffering from inflammation. Like, is there a way I could get a test, like a blood test? I don't know.
Um, there are some tests. I know there are clinical tests as
CPR.
CPR, that is C protein reactive and or homocysteine. There are some specific immune tests. But the thing with CPR is that, okay, it says that you're inflamed, but it doesn't tell you which system is inflamed. Uh, Maybe, I don't know, if a doctor tells you how to treat it, because in the case of my father, they just say like, yeah, you have inflammation. But okay, what else?
And then,
But that is the thing. I don't know how useful it is, because maybe in your case it's positive, in my case it's positive also, but in your case maybe it's the endocrine system, and in my case maybe it's the gut, it's the digestive system. So the treatment is not the same. So you have to know more about the person, what is the behavior of the person, to test which food is bad, to see the symptoms, not just the test, to see if you have endocrine system, your system is going to be different as your symptoms are going to be different to my symptoms. So it's really listen the other one.
so let's say, okay, let's leave the test out of the equation for now. How can we know? How can we start? Like, how can we be proactive? And as of tomorrow, um, see for ourselves if we have, if we might have inflammation or not. Like, what are we looking for? We talked about the headaches. We talked about just feeling like a little bit of indigestion every time after we eat. Is there anything else we should be looking for?
Yes, for example, depression can be a symptom of inflammation, anxiety, headache, stomach ache, indigestion, um, what else? Flu-like symptoms. I had that. I had a flu or
Like,
flu-like symptoms every month. Every month was incredible, even if it was summer. So that many people say, I have and actually my father had that. Every month he's worried about COVID because he has flu-like symptoms. Um, what else? What else can be? Runny nose. There are people that have runny nose every time, and it's because of that allergies or itchy skin. Um, Things as dermatitis, things like that are symptoms of inflammation. Uh, what else? People that have liquid retention or that change of weight too fast. Like one day they are okay, and 2 days after, your jeans you can put your jeans, things like that.
yeah. Okay, cool. Nice. So, well, if anyone is actually listening to us, could you write down if you have any of these symptoms? Because I remember once I used to have a headache every day, every day. But I was like, oh, I'm tired. Oh, it's cold. Oh, whatever. I don't remember exactly what I did to get rid of it, but I don't like taking pills. So I changed something in my lifestyle, in my food. I don't know, and it went away. But I wasn't aware that my body was maybe telling me, girl, you're suffering from inflammation. So, and I'm sure most of the people that's listening, most of us, there is at least one of those symptoms that we feel. Or maybe we feel foggy, tired.
Yeah, fatigue. This is another one.
Yes, yes, yes. So let's just do that homework, all of us, as of now, to try to listen to our bodies a little bit more and try, instead of popping the pill right away. Yes, maybe you pop the pill, but take the time to write it down. Today I'm having a headache at this time of the day. And then maybe the next day you're going to find out you're still having the headache, and the next day and the next day. So try to listen to your body a little bit more and try to see what changes can you do in your lifestyle to get rid of that headache or that symptom. We already talked about foods and nutrition and things you could stop eating and things that you could start eating more of, to prevent or to fight inflammation. But with nutrition comes other factors. Example, are you stressed?
Exactly.
All right.
If even
Mo-
if let's say that I'm eating super healthy, but I have a stressful life, I don't work out, I don't sleep, or I sleep 4 hours per day, I'm
exactly.
pretty sure that I'm going to be inflamed
Sleep
because stress
deprivation.
causes that.
Sleep deprivation. You need to sleep your 7 to 8 hours a day. If you can sleep 9, God bless you. I can't. Good. But at least 7 hours a day. Are you exercising? Exercise, it's funny because not only is going to help you with your stress, It's also going to help you sleep better. And it's also going to prevent you from gaining weight. There is something I learned today. I was reading a study earlier this morning, and it says, fat cells are actively metabolic. So it's not just the fat cells are there gathering fat, but they're doing stuff. They're doing stuff. You know what they're doing? They are actually creating these inflammatory
Mm-hmm.
substances that are making your body more inflammatory. So, guys, it's a matter of helping yourselves, changing a little bit your lifestyle. I'm not saying you need to change everything at a time. Or what
No,
Vanessa said about the foods, she talked even about eggplants, tomato, potato, gluten, oils.
no,
Oh
no,
my
no.
God.
There are,
What am I
there are exclusive cases.
what am I gonna eat? But you know what you could do, and this is summarizing a little bit what we have said. Cut out the sugar a little bit. Go easy on your processed foods. Go for the veggies. Go for the fruits. Um, Try to, if every time you eat pasta you feel indigestion, then maybe there's something about the gluten.
Sleepy.
Yes, or you feel super sleepy and you're like, oh, it's just because I ate too much. It's normal. Not really. So listen to your body a little bit more and do some tests. Okay, maybe you could go gluten free for 3 days and see how you feel. 3 or more, maybe 1 week. Dairy. Maybe you have been eating cheese and milk for your whole life, and you're like, I'm good. I'm not inflamed. But maybe that symptom that you have, it's just because you eat too much cheese or too much milk. You don't know. But we are encouraging you and inviting you to know your body a little bit more. Okay. And listen to
Yeah.
your body and prevent inflammation, because as we talked about earlier, there are many nasty things that come with it. Okay, it's not just about being bloated, because that's something else that stresses me. That some people feel and think that being inflamed, it's like, oh, I have a belly, I'm
Yeah.
inflamed.
Yeah, I seen fat.
Yeah, oh, I think I gained a pound, I'm inflamed. Guys, inflammation, it's in here, in your body, it's internal. Remember, we said there are,
Actually, you can have brain inflammation, and that's really bad
you see.
because it can lead you to dementia, Alzheimer, memory issues. Is really really bad.
So we're gonna, let me see. Sometimes Emily says sometimes headache. I assume it's sinus because it's like between the eye, but maybe it's inflammation and bloating also. So Emily, just try to tweak. Are you sleeping well? Are you drinking your water? Are you having all these foods we talked about? Are you having those foods we said we shouldn't be having as much? Try to see what changes could you make to your habits, to your daily lifestyle, and maybe those headaches will, start coming down a little bit. Anyone else has questions? Julie, she's sleepy and she has skin disorders. Julie, come on, girl. Sleep and water, sugar, I can cut more. So you see, this is what I want. This is what we like. This is why we're doing this, because we want people to snap out of it a little bit and just be conscious of the fact that it's in our power to improve our lives, right?
Of
we
course.
can do we can do changes here and there to improve our health and our lives. So you should not wait till the headache to be too much to handle, or to the stomach ache to be too much that you have to go to the doctor. We should not wait till that moment to start taking care of us, right? um, is there
Yeah, and
anything?
actually there is a thing that I realized here because the medical system in Venezuela was a little bit different, for example. That is my reference, let's say. But for example, here you're going to the doctor with a headache or fatigue. Really, the doctor is going to tell you like, okay, let's take Tylenol, um, and just I don't know, sleep well, sleep better is good, but maybe the way how the system is done, they are not going to take enough of time to see all the symptoms that you have because for them you don't have anything that really need to go to the urgence or I don't know, operations, things like that. So it's for that that it's important that by yourself you try to take preventive measures to avoid to arrive to a point where you need to get operated or treated with things, I don't know, like a chemotherapy or things like that.
Yeah, yeah. Cool. So, well, we have been talking already for over 35 minutes. But before we say bye, I wanted to let you know that we are going to do this again next week because we are a great team, Venezuelan power. Woohoo! Because she's Venezuelan like me, guys. That's why we get along so well. So yes, next Tuesday, if I remember correctly, we're gonna continue this. So if you have any other questions, you know where to find me, you know where to find her. You could reach out via Instagram or Facebook or email or phone. You even know where I live because it's in the studio, right? So if you have come to my studio, you've come to my house. But yes, write down your questions. Let us know so that we know what you want us to talk about next week. We want to keep this forum inflammation related, nutrition, healthy lifestyle, healthy habits related. So don't ask us about personal life because we're not going to talk about that. But any other question related to inflammation or nutrition or anything, please let us know. We are here for you. And I don't know, if Vanessa, if you want to add anything else.
No, I realized that I connect with my personal account, that I don't even use it too much, but I think that I switched the Instagram. And so please, if you have any questions, you can reach me by the Instagram My Own Chemistry,
I'm gonna
which is not the same that I'm using right now.
I'm gonna write it down in the
Uh,
comments just in case.
cool.
My
And
own.
actually, I'm going to answer a question that Margarita asked me some time ago, that was about how long it takes to get rid of inflammation. And actually, it's not easy. If you really are in a chronic state, it takes minimum 3 weeks. It's not just like I'm going to take a ginger tea because it's anti-inflammatory and it's going to go away. No, maybe it's good when you are bloated, that is going to work. But if you really want to feel better and to feel changes, once, as Jelita says, the good thing is doing little change, little by little. But if you one day you say, I feel bad and I want to do it, it takes time to do it during for 3 weeks, like to get rid of food that can cause inflammation, and like that you really can feel better after 3 weeks. So I just let you know that because some people feel that okay, I have been eating gluten for 3 days and I don't feel better, and it's because 3 days is not enough. Your body has been accumulating things for years and it needs to get rid of that.
Great. And something else I
Just
forgot
that.
to say. Maybe you started watching this video when it had already started, but I'm gonna record it. I'm gonna post it. I don't know if in Facebook or YouTube, but you will get the notification for sure, so that you can watch it from the beginning. So maybe you'll have questions about what we said at the beginning of this amazing conversation. Um, but if there are any other questions, we are gonna let you go. Enjoy your Tuesday night. Um, if you're here in Montreal, make sure you go out, eat in a restaurant today, tonight or tomorrow, because it's done. C'est fini la party. And if you are in any other city of the world, we love you. We appreciate you. And we
Thank
wish you
you.
a happy, healthy, active rest of your week. Thank you, Vanessa. Te quiero.
Bye, thank you. Yo
Ciao.
también. Chao.